All right, everyone. It is Memetics time. There's like three layers of Memetics here. Sovereignty just won the Belmont Stakes against journalism. Now, unfortunately, the trainers and the people involved with horse racing, involved with Team Sovereignty, did not actually enter the Preakness. I personally believe that that's a mistake. I realize that having an extended recovery time in order to be more competitive for the Belmont made sense, I suppose. I think that Sovereignty could have gotten the Triple Crown. And I'm not big into horse racing, but it's the names involved that are mimetic to me. And it's sort of like a trilogy, actually, this particular year within horse racing. Sovereignty wins the Kentucky Derby, isn't participating in the Preakness, so journalism wins that, and then goes on to retaliate by winning the Belmont Stakes. It reminds me of a couple of other things, and Memetics is real, my friend. Trust me, Memetics is actually real. Maybe we're living in a simulation, although I don't particularly agree with matrix theory. And it reminds me of Trump, actually, and it reminds me of Star Wars, oddly enough. You often have this within Lord of the Rings. You often have this within trilogies. For instance, in Star Wars, the rebels destroy the Death Star. Then they get fucked in the ass. They destroy the Death Star again, the Empire effectively collapses, and the Republic is reformed. Donald Trump wins the 2016 election, begins reforming the system. Biden steals the election and then tears everything to shit. Trump comes back, immediately teams up with other powerful people and attempts to reform the system yet again. We see this over and over, actually. It happens quite regularly. It's like the entire world is nothing more than a series of trilogies at times. Lord of the Rings, you know, the hobbits are doing pretty well, and the series of battles are won and they kind of get fucked in the ass at Helm's Deep. They do prevail, but, a lot of people die. And then, of course, the ring is cast into the pit of fire, and Sauron dies, and so forth. Not that that matters, because that trilogy continues a little bit more, and eventually, I believe, Morgoth destroys the entire world, if I remember correctly. Can't quite remember. Read the Silmarillion. It's a fun story, one that most people have never heard of. Sovereignty, winning at the Belmont Stakes, is fortuitous because the names of these horses are mimetic in nature. It's just like football occultism. I wrote a short work actually years ago on the occultism of football, the meanings of the teams and what happened during those years when they actually won the Super Bowl, or the superb owl, as you may term it. And I should probably update that because, there have been like 5 or 6 different Super Bowls since then. So I should probably reanalyze things. It's a limited information. The more information that you have, the more you can analyze it. It's quite simplistic to understand. Very interesting topic, too. Sports and superstition, of course, go hand in hand. Horse racing is a sport. There are superstitions involved with that too. Horseshoes, for example, you're not supposed to have them hanging upside down. You're supposed to have them hanging right side up. You're supposed to nail them into the wall so that the idea is that the luck stays in the shoe. They're considered lucky as long as they're in the right position. Otherwise, the luck will fall out. Now, this is mainly that particular superstition is nonsense. I don't believe that actually hanging a horseshoe upside down is unlucky or that hanging it right side up, brings increase to your household or anything like that. But it is interesting how literally every sport has superstitions. There are players who, after winning a game, they refuse to change their socks. They'll refuse to change their underwear. They'll say, "No, no, no, I'm not going to take a goddamn shower because I believe that it'll shower the luck off of me," and stuff like that. Soccer, football is a big one. There are so many superstitions with that. And by football, I mean American football. Soccer is what we refer to, that Europeans would say is football. They're not the same thing. Horse racing, there's certainly a lot of superstitions with regards to equestrianism. Literally, name a sport, you're gonna find superstitions. Even people who don't have any particular spiritual views. They're an atheist with no spiritual views. They think that the mystic is bullshit. They're still going to not change their socks after the game if they've won it, so to speak. Even sports fans, people who aren't even participating in sports will do the same thing. With regards to this particular situation, though, it is very, very telling that the two top horses within these races were sovereignty v journalism. Collectively, they won all three of them. And I think that Sovereignty would have won the Preakness, but again was held out in order to compete more at the Belmont. And it was funny because I didn't intend to watch the Belmont Stakes, actually, because I'm not really into sports of any kind, really, unless it's like maybe watching highly competitive chess or something along those lines. I'm not exactly the person for sports unless it's volleyball. I'm very good at that. But I happened to be walking in from the yard, and my hosts were watching the Belmont Stakes, and I caught the end of it. And it was funny because Sovereignty, I didn't want to walk in front of the TV because I'm understanding that these people are very, very interested in watching the Belmont, and I don't want to interrupt them in any way. They want to see it live, so I just sat down on the love seat off to the side. And I caught just the last like 30 seconds of it, and at the very last moment, Sovereignty just shot out like a cannon and totally eclipsed journalism. And I thought it was hysterical when that happened. It was absolutely like one of the funniest things that I've seen because it's so mimetic. It actually pleases me because sovereignty should win over journalism. The big thing is we're having a cultural debate right now over whether the United States is going to be a sovereign nation or whether the elite class is going to drag us further into globalism and destroy us all in the process and make us into a mindless drone hive, basically. Well, it looks like in this instance, sovereignty won it over. Hmm, quite fun. That's about all. Peace out.